Dirty dealings, corporate battles, consumer woes. This is Evening 5. A three-member Court of Appeal bench on Thursday upheld a High Court decision given 2 years ago which had dismissed an Inland Revenue Board claim of taxes amounting to 1.8 billion against the Naga Nasional. This followed the bench agreeing that the national power provider is in the business of manufacturing energy and the sum sought comprises a reinvestment allowance that should have been exempted. The decision was made unanimously by the bench led by Datuk Sri Kamaluddin Mat Said and including Datuk Simi Chun and Datuk Hashim Hamza. In delivering the unanimous decision, ruled that the High Court was right in allowing the judicial review sought by TNB, and the bench agreed that the expenses run by the company from 2003 to the year of assessment of 2018 amounted to manufacturing of energy, and thus the RA is applicable. The court made no order as to costs. To recap, the case arose when on July 3, 2020, the IRB informed TNB that the RA that it had claimed for 2018 was disallowed, and then issued a notice of additional assessment on July 7, 2020 to the amount of just over 1.8 billion ringgit. The IRB in its appeal argued that TNB is not a manufacturing company and thus does not qualify for tax incentives that would allow for the RA. TNB, however, cited certain Commonwealth cases and a federal court case that supports its stance that electricity generation is considered manufacturing activity globally in the form of its expenditure on transmission lines, substations and transponders. The government should encourage more graduates to work abroad for better salaries to service their student debt, as Malaysia is experiencing wage stagnation and an erosion of living standards, according to the Khazanah Research Institute. In a report titled The Financialization of Our Lives, KRI found that almost all National Higher Education Fund Corp borrowers who came from B40 are not paying back their student loans, mainly due to bad personal financial positions. KRI said fresh graduate salaries have remained almost stagnant for at least a decade, with 59.6% of fresh graduates making 2,000 ringgit or less for their first job in 2021, showing only marginal improvement from 60.8% in 2010. At the same time, the rate of unemployed fresh graduates within a year after graduation remained stagnant, recording a double-digit figure of 15.2% in 2021. KRI also recommended the introduction of income contingent education loans, where repayment is initiated only after borrowers surpass a predetermined income threshold, with the repayment scale linked to their income levels. Currently, PT and borrowers are obligated to repay their education loans 12 months after graduation, regardless of income levels. Furthermore, KRI prompted a policy option to recognise TVET as an option for tertiary education, citing that those who lean towards vocational or technical vocations may not do so because of the prevailing societal stigma. SP Setia's first quarter earnings spiked 39.5% to 77.3 million, compared with 55.5 million, thanks to higher revenue driven by stronger contribution from both its domestic business as well as its operations in Vietnam. First quarter revenue improved 52.5% year-on-year to 1.48 billion from 967.7 million ringgit. President and CEO Datuk Chung Kai Wai said that its strong first quarter results are a testament to the robustness of its business model and the success of its strategic market expansions. Sales have remained strong, with a total of 1.42 billion sales achieved in the quarter, mainly contributed by the southern and central region. Chung said that project completions, notably within Australia, have been particularly successful. The group expects to continue its upward momentum with the launch of new projects, with a combined GDV of 146.2 million ringgit during the quarter and favourable market uptake. As such, Chong says that SP Setia is on track to meeting its 4.4 billion ringgit sales target. Tomei Consolidated anticipates that the newly introduced Employees Provident Funds Account 3 will enhance consumer spending power, potentially boosting its sales. According to Group MD Dato' Ng Yi Pieng, while EPF Account 3 is expected to have a positive effect on retail activity, it may not match the substantial boost seen during the COVID-19 period, where 145 billion was withdrawn by EPF members under various programs. EPF had projected withdrawals of 25 billion in the first year, following the the rollout of Account 3. With the higher gold prices and increased tourist numbers, Ng anticipates a positive outlook for Tomei's financial performance for FY 2024. With gold prices surging 16.1% year to date to $2,391.13 per ounce, Ng expects the current high gold prices to expand Tomei's margins in the short term. He also shared the group intends to expand its retail presence with plans to open up to 2 additional outlets this year. Tomei currently operates 58 retail outlets. Hup Seng Industries saw its first quarter earnings jump 44.6% year-on-year to 13.97 million as sales went up and material input costs came down. Revenue for the quarter improved by 8% to 93.57 million from 86.38 million previously. Revenue from export markets rose 22% year-on-year, mainly from Myanmar, Maldives and Singapore. This marks Hup Seng's best quarter net profit since the fourth quarter of FY 2017, when it reported a net profit of 14.4 million on the back of stronger biscuit demand. It also marks the group's 4th consecutive quarter of earnings growth. No dividend was declared for the quarter under review. Hup Seng said it expects the operating environment to remain highly competitive, adding that it will focus on streamlining operations, enhancing brand awareness and improving overall product quality.